Welcome to the Town Board Workshop Meeting, Thursday, June 18th, 2020. Emergency exits are to my right behind the town clerk and also the door you came in. Roll, please.
Supervisor Brody?
Here.
Councilman Smoji?
Here.
Councilman Morris?
Here.
Councilwoman Doyle?
Here.
Councilman Gutierrez?
Here.
Public comment? Is there anybody waiting to get in?
There's one guy out here, let me open you up. Kenneth is.
Yes, let him in. That's Leo.
Leo, public comment?
Hi. No. I just wanted to see what was going on, see if I missed anything exciting in Amenia during the pandemic. It could happen.
Comment, Leo?
Excuse me?
Did you have public comment?
No, I didn't, Victoria. Just watching.
Okay. All right.
Okay, if there's no public comment, we'll go on to the supervisor's report. Wassaic Trail to the Train, the Trail of the Train rail trail construction is nearing completion. It's not open to the public. Silo Ridge Field Club is hosting a free Dutchess County socially distant fireworks display for all to enjoy on July 4th at 9 p.m. on their property. They have graciously offered parking at their horse paddock on Depot Hill Road. Everyone is required to stay in their cars. Gates open for parking at 7:30. The fire departments and the sheriff's department will assist with parking. The entire event is being coordinated by the Dutchess County Department of Emergency Response. Town of Amenia COVID-19. The Amenia Town Hall departments are available in person by in-person appointment only, in addition to phone, mail, and email. Social distancing, face coverings, hand washing, and hand sanitizer protocols need to be followed. Phase 2 began on June 9th. Businesses impacted in Phase 2 include office-based job, real estate, in-store retail, vehicle sales, leases and rentals, retail rental, repair and cleaning, commercial building management, hair salons, and barber shops. Businesses are also allowed to permit outside dining. Phase 3 is expected to begin on June 23rd for food services and personal care, in addition to allowing social gatherings of 25 people. Please continue to wear face coverings and be mindful of social distancing wherever you are. Also remember to not touch your face, wash your hands often, and use hand sanitizer. Be well and stay safe. Town clerk report.
Good evening. The minutes of June 4th were circulated prior to the meeting. Has the board had the opportunity to do?
Yes.
Yes.
A motion?
I'll make a motion we accept the minutes for the meetings of June 4th.
Thank you, Michelle.
Second.
Thank you.
Yes.
Councilman Smoji? Councilman Morris?
Yes.
Councilman Doyle?
Yes.
Councilman Gutierrez?
Yes.
Also reporting for the 2020 tax collection. The summary numbers that I gave at our last meeting are the final numbers. And just reviewing total taxes collected were $5,731,283.91, with penalties being $9,496.44. And there was 89 parcels for the amount of $410,896.71 that was turned over to Commissioner of Finance for their collection. I also report to the board this evening that I have received is accepting Catherine Louis' letter of resignation. Due to the COVID-19, I did notify her that her part-time typist position that she was sharing with one of the other staff members is not going to be available throughout the rest of the year. So she did send me in writing and certified notifying me that she did find employment elsewhere. So congratulations, Kate, on that. So I'm just asking the board to accept her resignation effective June 8th.
I make a motion that we accept her resignation.
Thank you, Michelle.
And wish her well.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second,
Supervisor? Supervisor Brody?
yes.
Councilmember Smoji?
Yes.
Councilman Boris?
Yes.
Doyle?
Yes.
Gutierrez?
Yes.
Also, circulated on June to all board members, several of us received our copies. I received a letter from Nancy Watson, made comments, and I said to the board, if I didn't hear back, I was going to share it with all of you this evening. She's expressing some concern regarding fencing and lighting regarding the rail trail expansion. Is there any comments at this time that you make?
I did call her, and as far as lighting, I told her there's no plan for the lighting yet. She did express concern about people from the rail trail being on her property. We are looking into seeing into getting prices and seeing how we would have to work with Metro North in order to put a split rail fence like this on the rest of the rail trail from where the trees are planted down in front of all the people whose lawns are adjacent to the rail trail. So if you want me to continue to get prices and have a conversation with Metro North, I can go ahead and do that. The one estimate I got was about $7,000 for a double split rail fence to go down through there. And that's
Sorry, quick question. Why would Metro North need to be involved? Would this be on Metro North property or the homeowner's property?
It's on their property.
If it was built on the homeowner's property, would we avoid needing to involve Metro North?
Well, we would have to do easements with all the homeowners, and so I can look into that option too.
How many homeowners are affected?
Two.
Just two.
Yeah, and they're all in the same area. It's at the end of the trail.
So
And
don't we have to,
and
okay,
if we're keeping in the same line with the rest of the rail trail, which is the rail fence.
I see.
But, it's something we can discuss further and see what we want to do. And if Metro North would also assist in costs if it has to go on their property. But the lighting is going to be separate. We have to go through seeker for the lighting. So the lighting is going to be a whole separate project once we get finished with the trail itself.
We have a question. Where are these homeowners exactly located?
At the end of the trail, just before you get to the
Maximils.
I believe the road is called Old Cross, I think. Is that correct, Victoria?
Yes. And actually, I think we sent like a map out of where the trees are located. The fence would go in between where all the trees are, right to the end of the trail. And the one estimate I got is about $7,000 for the whole, for that whole length. But
It sounds appropriate to me off the top of my head. It seems like it would fit with what has happened along the Harlem Valley Trail and other areas like the section in Millerton where it goes past some homes. It's very clearly defined. This is where the rail trail and the public access is. So it seems in keeping.
yeah, that's what John Conklin suggested to me, because that would be in line with what's already on the rest of the rail trail.
Right, right. Sending one signal to people. It doesn't happen to just be a personal fence. It's actually the boundaries of the trail.
Right. Right. So I'll continue to research that, and I'll give you all the information as I get it.
Great, thank you. I've circulated to the board for the packet, and it came from Marge earlier in the week, your operating statement and your balance sheet. Does anybody have any questions regarding those two documents that were circulated earlier?
There are hard copies in your mailboxes.
Everybody acknowledge that?
Sorry,
Yeah.
can you say that again?
The balance sheet and operating statement.
That,
Each month, we're going to be asking for you guys to acknowledge receipt and understanding of it.
Yes.
So we're just bringing it to the attention, so I want to make sure everybody understands, and then with everybody understand that in acknowledging receipt, we're also, in addition to the electronic copy, you've also received hard copies in your mailbox. So when you
It's
come
very
in-
hard to hear you, Dawn Marie. But I do understand, and I did receive the balance sheets and the operating statement, and I do acknowledge receipt.
Perfect, thank you. I'm also presenting this night the vouchers for the abstract dated June 15th in the amount of $104,085.19, broken down as follows. General Fund A, $75,509.26. Highway Fund, $12,666.71. Amenia Lighting, $1,249.41. Wasatch Lighting, $466.37. Amenia Water, $10,996. Trail to the Train, $3,197.44. Again, for a total of $104,085.19. Is there a motion to authorize the supervisor to pay the bills?
Make that motion.
Michelle? Is there a second?
Second.
And Supervisor Brody?
yes.
Council members Timothy,
Yes.
Morris,
Yes.
Doyle,
Yes.
Gutierrez?
Yes.
Thank you. I'm also sharing with everyone tonight in the packet and prior was your May 2020 update from SCBI Environmental Services for your water department, reporting the total water use for April and May. He indicates on here that he had some meter issues and is working on replacing the defects, and talks about a water line update that he's done. That's a report, make sure everyone has. And the other report that I'm acknowledging receipt of myself is the highway report for tonight's meeting. But I do believe that I have Megan on the line who will present her report.
Megan's not here.
Megan?
We were gonna text you.
Hello.
Yep, she's here.
Hello,
Yes,
Megan.
she's here.
Hi, Megan.
Hi, Megan.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello, everybody.
Hi.
Okay. So, let me put this on mute here. So this year we will be blacktopping the remainder of Prospect Avenue, Depot Hill. Can you hear me okay?
Yep.
Okay. For the last month, we have been trimming branches, cutting shoulders, and replaced approximately 215 feet of drainage pipe. I've sent out 3 Office of General Services for quick quotes for prices to Calaruso, Peckham's, and Callahan. Callahan price was $194,939. Peckham's bid was $194,224, and Calaruso's bid was $176,452. So I suggest we go with Calaruso at $176,452. We're currently scheduled for the week of June 29th to July 2nd. This is going to be weather permitting. This should take about 2 days to blacktop, but a total of 3 days. 1 day to get ready, get the driveways ready in the intersections. And again, this date is weather permitting. So,
The resolution number?
31.
say again?
Awarding bid for paving of Prospect Avenue and Depot Hill Road. Whereas Megan Chamberlain, Town of Amenia Highway Superintendent, solicited written quotes to the New York State Office of General Services, quick quotes, for the paving of Prospect Avenue and Depot Hill Road located in the Town of Amenia. Whereas the following bid quotes were received. A. Colarusso and Son, $176,452. Peckham Materials Corporation, $194,224. Callahan Industries, $194,939. And whereas by email dated June 16, 2020, Megan Chamberlain, Town of Amenia Highway Superintendent, determined that the lowest responsible bid quote was from A. Colarusso and Son Incorporated, and the amount of $176,452. Now therefore be it resolved as follows. The recitations above set forth are incorporated in this resolution as if fully set forth and adopted herein. The Town of Amenia hereby awards the bid for the paving of Prospect Avenue and Depot Hill Road to A. Colarusso and Son Incorporated in the bid amount of $176,452 as annexed here too. The cost of paving and contract award will be funded from budget line 51104.3 Highway General Repair, which currently contains $104,840.90, and from Highway Fund Balance, budget line 59903 in the amount of $71,611.10, representing the total contract price of $176,452. Budget line 59903 titled Highway Fund Balance will be reimbursed through funds received from the New York State Department of Transportation Consolidated Local Street and Highway Improvement Program, CHIPS funding, which is anticipated to be a minimum of $83,801.04. And the town board hereby authorizes the highway superintendent and supervisor of the Town of Amenia to execute a contract upon review and approval of the attorney to the town and any other documentation necessary in accordance with A. Colarusso and Son Incorporated quote for the pavement of Prospect Avenue and Depot Hill Road. Is there a motion?
I make a motion that we accept that bid.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Supervisor Brody?
Yes.
Council members Doyle?
Vicky?
Oh, yes.
Gutierrez?
Me?
Dan?
Yes.
Morris?
Yes.
And Moji?
Yes.
Okay, resolution.
So I'm just asking that the board read the reports that I presented this evening so I can put them on the website.
Yes.
Thank you.
Megan, if you could mute, that would be.
Yeah, I have one more thing.
Okay.
Okay. Victoria has talked to me about taking down the playground in Wassaic. I just want to make sure that the other board members are okay with this. Or...
Only the older equipment. That isn't ADA compliant.
So what is the older equipment that you propose taking down?
That's the playground equipment that, when Janet was supervisor, that was ordered for the playground. It wasn't put in properly, which is why all the weeds keep growing up around it. There wasn't any stone put underneath it. But it's very old and it's not ADA compliant.
But I don't think it needs
Some of
to
the
be
pieces-
ADA compliant. Has our code enforcement officer taken a look at it to see if it's unsafe? because we don't have a lot of equipment down there. There's a couple of swings and a monkey bar, and that circular.
We have money in the capital account for recreation to put a replacement piece down there. But what's down there is it's old, it's not ADA compliant, and weeds keep growing up around it.
But I don't think it has to be ADA, anything that was installed originally. I mean, new stuff probably has to meet that, but if our code enforcement officer, are we ready to roll?
Have you gone down and looked at it?
Yes, yeah. And I think that, weed whacking would be a first start to get the weeds down, but I thought everything looked like it was safe enough to me, but I'm not an expert.
It's not safe. It's not safe for any child to be climbing on that stuff. That's why we're taking it down and replacing it with equipment that is safe for children to be climbing on and playing on.
When is the new stuff coming in?
It's mostly, when I had Architect look at it, they said that that piece of equipment is more for older children, and it's like a jungle gym type thing.
Okay,
Is there a reason why we need to take it down before we've got a plan and an approved, plan for putting in new stuff? Because I don't believe that we're going to be suddenly ordering this stuff and installing it unless you've got stuff going on that I wasn't aware of. I'm on the rec committee. I haven't heard any plans. This is the first time.
Well, you were sent when Architect came down there, you were sent their recommendations for
Yeah,
that.
but they want to sell us new stuff, and I'm not sure that we yet have all agreed as a town board to spend,
Well, if you want to leave it here, I'll just have them keep weed whacking it, and they can.
I would. Just until we have a plan, because that's 3/4 of what's down there. There'll be nothing, literally, other than monkey bars and like 3 swings. Unless there's really, something that's seriously unsafe, and I don't know that that's true. It looked safe enough for me.
Go back through my emails and send you the recommendations from Architect.
Well,
Okay.
Victoria, we have those, but I think those are now almost a year and a half old. And I think what Vicky's saying is that we've had those in front of us for over a year and a half, but we've had no discussion, no concrete plan to take action on those plans. So I'm looking in my email right now for that email from Architect. I think it was from 2018. I'm curious, Michelle, you said they were unsafe. Do you know?
That's unsafe. I've been down there. I've seen that equipment. It's unsafe for young children.
It's old.
And it's old, and it's not really very secure. And we had this thing from the park place. They even did a plan. I believe they did a plan for us, didn't they? They did. They did a plan for us down there. So we have the plan.
Well, that's why Megan is bringing it up, and for, you to decide what you want to do. You want to leave it there? You want to take it out? You want to replace it? What do you want to do with it?
I mean, if we have money in the budget and we've had a nonstop, I just found the proposal from Architect. Came in on October 19th, 2018. So we've had this proposal, and as Vicki noted, it's not a free proposal. They want to sell us this equipment, and it would cost some money.
Well, equipment is free.
Agreed. But so the bill here is the quote based on their design, including installation, $74,861. Of course, it was just a proposal. We don't have to accept it. It could be different. But I think Vicki's point is that unless we have a plan and we agree that something needs to be done about that playground, then we may as well leave up what's there, take care of it, and work to put a plan in place to replace it. I don't know that the code enforcement officers deemed it unsafe, or I'm not sure, what authority has deemed it unsafe, but
The parts of the park that were unsafe have been taken down. Because there was like a backstop there, and that was falling down, so that was taken down. And then there was, there's like I think they're like railroad ties or something to that effect around that were repaired.
Well, look, I think I'm glad we're having this discussion, and I think I told you guys a while back that I had circulated a Google spreadsheet for folks who live in the hamlet here.
You didn't circulate it. You told us about it.
I circulated it to folks in the hamlet here. I can share it with you guys. A couple of requests that we got. Gabe Parisi suggested we have a dog park. I'll circulate this around to the town board, but I do think it is the right time to have a discussion about what we want to do with that park, and if we have the funds to apply to it, I think that's great. We should involve the rec committee.
Well, we're not deciding anything tonight. I just didn't know what you wanted to do, what was there that wasn't in very good shape. But you can, if you want to go to the Recreation Commission and come up with a plan, and it's fine with me.
I'd feel better because I think that, overall we need to know what what WASAC wants. We can't just say, well, there are no toddlers. Now we're going to do, like 10-year-olds. There's a limited budget, so we'll want to make sure it reflects what the demographics and the interest of the WASAC park users want to see there. And the fence also needs to be repaired. The split rail fence is in bad shape again. So there's a number of things we have to consider and a limited budget. So we'll want to make sure we're using those funds wisely.
I tell you what, since I did that initial sort of informal survey, why don't I, as a next step, why don't I agree to put a little presentation together for the board for the next meeting that summarizes what I've heard from folks who live here and have given us some feedback on that park, and then we can have a discussion about what we want to do. But for the time being, I think we should just take care of the weeds and leave the equipment up.
Okay, that's fine. It's just that, then it's, that's what we need to do is kind of look at it and see what we do want to do. Okay.
Great. So you can put me on the agenda for next meeting. I'll have a little presentation.
I mean, it's, it's important that you share that with us.
Yep.
But that's good.
Thank you, Megan. I appreciate you bringing that to our attention.
Yes, thank you. That's all I have.
Thank you, Megan. Have a good night now.
Good night.
So I was going to do a roll call for the acceptance of our committee reports and department reports. Supervisor Brody?
Yes.
Councilmember Swoji?
Yes.
Morris?
Yes.
Doyle?
Yes?
Gutierrez?
Yes.
And I'd be remorse if I wasn't to announce, because everybody knows the proud mama there that I've been the last 2 weeks. So again, congratulations to the class of 2020. You guys really do make us proud. You are an exceptional class, and everything that you've gone through to end your school year, the acknowledgments and the praise that you received, and to watch all of your smiling faces on the big screen at Four Brothers was an absolute delight. So congratulations to all of the classmates. Of course, a special shout out to my son Zachary, and thank you to the principal and the superintendent and all that made it happen for that video to take place. It really has left a mark here within the county, especially being the first one to honor a graduation at a drive-in. So this only helps make our own community the fabulous community that it is. Congratulations, all. Thank you.
Okay, this is the resolution approving stone leaf construction sidewalk easement and maintenance agreement. I had included in your packet the resolution from the planning board that had the condition in it that said that section of sidewalk on land owned by the town needed to link the applicant's property to the adjacent public parking lot. The applicant shall obtain permission from the town board in a form acceptable to the town attorney. It's something that fell between the cracks. I didn't get this resolution from the planning board until this issue came up a few months ago, so that's why we're doing the easement. to satisfy that condition for the stone leaf construction, and that was the former church. Authorizing non-exclusive sidewalk easement and maintenance agreement between the town of Amenia and Stone Leaf Construction LLC, subject to permissive referendum. Whereas Stone Leaf Construction LLC is the owner of certain real property located in the town of Amenia, New York, identified on tax grid number 716709-170520, having an address of 4974 Route 22 in the town of Amenia, New York, 12501. Whereas the town of Amenia is the owner of certain real property located in the town of Amenia, identified on tax grid 716709196542, which is contiguous and adjacent to Stone Leaf property, currently improved with a public parking area. Whereas Stone Leaf submitted its application to the town of Amenia Planning Board on or about February 7, 2018 for a site plan approval for the conversion of an existing Presbyterian church and its accompanying presbytery into an office building for Stone Leaf. Whereas the planning board reviewed and considered the following documents submitted by the applicant as part of its application. One site plan dated February 5, 2018. Last revised March 20th, 2018. Site details dated February 5th, 2018. Last revised March 20th, 2018. And SDS plans and details dated March 7th, 2018. Whereas by resolution number 5 of 2018, the planning board determined that the project contemplated in the application was an unlisted action under the State Environmental Quality Review Act, and issued a negative declaration for the project, concluding the project would not create any significant environmental impacts. Whereas on April 11, 2018, by resolution number 3 of 2018, the planning board approved the application. Whereas the approval was conditioned on Stone Leaf obtaining permission from the town of Amenia Town Board in a form acceptable to the attorney of the town of Amenia to construct a section of sidewalk on the town property that will connect the Stone Leaf property to the public parking lot located on town property. Whereas the sidewalk has been constructed by Stone Leaf in substantially the same form as depicted on the approved site plan dated February 5th, 2018, last revised March 20th, 2018, annexed hereto as Exhibit 1. Whereas after consulting with the attorney to the town board agrees to grant Stone Leaf a non-exclusive sidewalk easement and maintenance agreement, and to ratify the construction of the sidewalk on town property by Stone Leaf in substantially the same form as depicted in Exhibit 1. Whereas the easement granted herein is made on the express condition that Stone Leaf, its successors and assigns, will maintain the sidewalk for as long as the sidewalk remains in existence, in accordance with the approval, the Stone Leaf office site plan, and the terms and conditions set forth in the easement, a copy of which is annexed hereto. Whereas the attorney to the town of Amenia has drafted the easement and is satisfied with the contents, whereas the town property to be burdened by the proposed easement is presently vacant, unused, and unneeded by the town for any municipal purposes. Whereas the town board members have reviewed the proposed easement, have determined that the terms and conditions stated within are reasonable, that it would be in the best interest of the town to authorize the easement. And whereas it has been determined that the granting of this easement is subject to a permissive referendum according to Town Law 64-2. Whereas the town board has determined that granting this easement a type 2 action under State Environmental Quality Review Act, because the action entails the construction of a non-residential facility involving less than 4,000 square feet of gross floor area, and therefore no environmental review is required. Whereas as determining the granting of this easement is a type 2 action, the town board notes that the planning board previously adopted a super negative declaration in its resolution number 5 through 2018, dated as of April 11, 2018, for the project of which the sidewalk is a part. Now therefore be it resolved, number 1, the recitations above set forth are incorporated in this resolution as if fully set forth and adopted herein. After review and due consideration of all the foregoing, the town board hereby approves the form of the non-exclusive sidewalk easement and maintenance agreement as attached to this resolution as Exhibit 2. This resolution is adopted subject to permissive referendum, and the town clerk shall give notice of adoption of the resolution by providing a copy of this resolution with an appropriate notice of adoption in the official newspaper of the town. And in addition, such town clerk shall post or cause to be posted on the bulletin board of her office a copy of such resolution and notice of adoption, and such publication and postings shall be within 10 days of the date hereof. The town board hereby directs, upon the conclusion of the permissive referendum, the town supervisor to execute on behalf of the town the non-exclusive sidewalk easement and maintenance agreement as approved by this resolution, and cause the same to be recorded with the town of Amenia town clerk and filed with the Dutchess County clerk. Is there a motion?
I make a motion that we accept this resolution authorizing the non-exclusive sidewalk easement and maintenance agreement between the town of Amenia and the Stony Construction LLC, subject to permissive referendum.
Is there a second? Is anyone seconding the motion?
I'll second it.
Thank
Discussion.
you. Is there a discussion? Okay.
I'm a little confused as to what exactly we're talking about. Obviously, there's a sidewalk that runs in front of the old church and in front of the parking lot in front of
Not
town.
the sidewalk, it's where the steps are.
It's where the steps are. Okay. So this is basically a sidewalk that goes from the town hall lower parking lot to the church or to.
Yeah, it's on town property.
What is the purpose of that sidewalk?
They put it in as part of their site plan for their employees to go down the steps into the parking lot.
Is their intent to have their employees park in the town parking lot?
Well, it's part of their site plan.
Part of their site plan is, part of their plan was to have their employees park in the town parking lot?
Yes, the site plan had 11 spaces in it. But in order for them to get a CO, this easement was a condition to this original planning board resolution, and it was never done. So we're just kind of fixing it after that.
I'm still super confused. So we're effectively saying that Stoneleaf employees who work at the new sales office where the old church used to be can park in the town parking lot?
This has nothing to do with the parking lot. It has to do with the land that the town owns that the steps are on.
Okay, so I'll return to my original question, which was, what is the purpose of that sidewalk, those steps that go from the town parking lot to the building?
Yes.
What is the purpose of those steps? What's the purpose of the sidewalk?
What sidewalk are you talking about?
This thing that we're going to give them an easement for.
We own the property that they put the steps on.
I understand. What is the purpose of the steps? Who will be using them? Why do they exist? Why are they there? Why aren't they just not there? And then we don't have to give them an easement. What are they used for?
They're used for their employees to use to go down from their building to the parking lot.
They'll also be used by the general public.
Exactly.
But since they were built on town property, and that was one of the conditions for them to get their final CO, this is what we have to do.
I think the planning board was out of their, that order that they have chosen to proceed lacked the town board's approval to grant the easement that they now need. I think that the planning board needs to understand that they can't give town property to an applicant without asking the town board for their approval. It seems they missed a really important step in granting approvals.
What we're doing is granting them an easement.
after
Because
the fact,
it was a condition.
if we didn't grant this, they would be in, they would have built a sidewalk that isn't on their property. That doesn't
Right.
make sense.
They would have built a sidewalk that is on their property. There already is a sidewalk on their property. It's
There
the
is.
sidewalk.
What we're doing is cleaning up something that should have been done at the time before the sidewalk was put there.
Okay, but we're giving an easement to a private entity.
Since it's on town property, we need to have an easement.
On the website
Right.
legalmatch.com, they say.
Okay, Google, stop. Sorry.
The more sidewalks we have in the town, the better off we are, in my view. I don't see a problem with this, Damien.
The sidewalk only goes to their business, so we're granting an easement to a private business to have a sidewalk that goes from a public town parking lot to their private place of business.
On town, and it's on town property.
Right. So if we agree that that's a good thing to do, that's fine, but we don't do that for every business in town.
Was there ever an agreement to let them park on the town parking lot? It doesn't sound like the board is aware of that.
Victoria,
That has nothing to do with what we're doing tonight.
It certainly does.
No, it doesn't.
It sounds like they were just given the opportunity to park in the town parking lot without any payment. And Silo Ridge is, weaseled out of so many other agreements. I'm not sure why the town is being so nice, especially without a vote by the board.
Well, we're not having this discussion now. What we're doing is trying to pass this resolution.
Well, you can't pass the resolution if it was never discussed by the town board. I mean, there's a step missing, Victoria.
No, there isn't.
How's that?
This is simply for an easement for the steps that were built on town property. So we're taking the step of doing that because of this condition in the planning board resolution. So we're cleaning up something that should have been done a long time ago.
Yes,
But
except
it's in the town's best interest to have an easement. Isn't that what you said, Jim?
Yes.
Well, okay.
An easement is merely a right to use the property. You're not conveying anything to them.
no, but the question is
It's no skin off anybody's nose to do it.
no.
And the more sidewalks we have in the town, the better, as far as I'm concerned.
Not if it's only for a private business that is using town property, i.e. the park.
This is not, Ed, this is not open to comment. This is a resolution that we need to pass in order to take care of an existing easement. Doesn't have anything to do with the parking lot.
Well, obviously it does. That's the only reason the steps are there.
Leo, respectfully, Victoria's right. We're not open for public comment at the moment, but we will have another public comment at the end of the meeting. I'm thoroughly confused about this whole thing. I see Jim's point. Sidewalks are great, but we don't build sidewalks to back in the kitchen. We don't build sidewalks to
We didn't do it.
Fresh Town.
It's on our property. So it's
Yep.
perfectly proper for us to have an easement.
Okay. I mean,
So we need this easement, exactly why, I'm sorry, I don't have this resolution in front of me, and I had a hard time hearing the reading of it.
Because we own the property.
We need an easement to access our own property?
No. In order for them to access it, they need an easement from the town because we own the property.
They need,
Yes.
That's
even though
right.
it's public, we own it, so it's public, right? So they need an easement so that they can maintain it, so that they can snowplow
Yes,
it?
they are going to maintain it. That's part of the resolution.
Okay,
That
well, I
means
don't,
we are totally responsible for the steps.
I can't really hear you.
They will maintain the steps. They're totally in charge of the steps. The town is
Okay.
not making them or anything. That's the whole purpose of the easement.
Well, I think they should maintain it.
They are going to maintain it.
I mean, it only goes to their place of business, so it's in their best interest, obviously, to maintain it.
And it protects the town.
Does it? Is our liability for any accidents on those steps?
No, it's theirs. That's why we got the easement.
They have the responsibility to maintain it, so therefore, if they were negligent in any way, they would be sued.
Absolutely.
Okay, well, in that case, then I'm supportive. But it seems like, obviously, to Vicky's point, we did this a little backwards. We should have had this discussion before they built anything.
Well, we should have, and I didn't know about it until after the fact, so we're trying to clean up something that should have been done a long time ago.
Very good. Well, to Jim's point,
Now we're protecting the town.
any additional sidewalk is good, and any additional sidewalk that we, won't be sued for slips and falls is even better. So I'm supportive all of a sudden.
Are we ready to vote?
Yes.
Supervisor Perotti?
Yes.
Councilmembers Doyle,
Yes.
Gutierrez,
Yes.
Morris,
Yes.
Emoji,
Yes.
Resolution number 33. Yay. Transfer of funds for June 18th. Whereas budget amendment in the general fund increasing expense line 1.097306.01700 Bonnie anticipation note by 17,000, increasing expense line 1.097307.01750 interest on debt service capital notes Wassaic Trail by 2,684.58, decreasing expense line 19004.01.049. Special item C contingency by 19,684.58 to correct interest on debt service capital notes Wassaic Trail expense line. Whereas budget amendment, the general fund increasing expense line 16204.01.04 building CE by $407 and decrease 16204.054 building CE electrical by $407 for annual burglar and fire alarm service. Whereas budget amendment in the general fund increasing expense line 13554.01.048 assessor CE secretaries by $7,910.46 increase 19004.01.080 special items unallocated by $89.54 and decrease 19004.01.049 special items contingencies by $8,000 for additional costs. Can I make that motion? Second. Discussion? Any questions? Roll.
Supervisor Perotti?
Yes.
Councilmembers Morris,
Yes.
Harris,
Yes.
Doyle,
Yes.
Emoji,
Yes.
Town board comments?
I have a comment to make. It seems that we now have a resident large black bear living on Separate Road. And I saw him last night for the first time. Apparently he has been raiding the garbage pails of the neighbors, including my own. And this is just for informational purposes for people in the Smithfield area that we do have a rather large black bear. So protect your garbage, I guess.
Yeah, they've been roaming around. I've heard about sightings on Perry's Corners Road and
Yeah, yep, and there's also,
in Cascade.
there's also a mother bear and two cubs down by the Taconic Wassaic Park down there. I forget what that road is called, where we have the pump house in Wassaic and stuff. So, yeah, I only saw her once with her little cubs, and it's very nice, and she didn't bother me, and I didn't bother them, and just be advised, this is where we live, folks.
Yep.
There's bunny rabbits, there's deer, there's geese, there's bears. You name it. It roams around at coyotes. Not here.
Our trash
That was
guy.
the first for me. I had never seen a black bear up here before. That's the first for me.
Or you
And it was fun.
It's that, oh yeah, they're around here. You see them every so often just strolling along the thing. In fact, I'll tell you a story. One time I was crossing 22. I was going to, we had put signs out for something and I was collecting them because the event was over. And I was walking across 22. And as I walked across, I looked to my left and there was this big black bear strolling across the road with me. I looked right, I looked left, so I crossed the road, he crossed the road, he went south, I went north, and that took care of it. So I'm just advising you, if you see any of the people out there, if you're up here and you've never seen wildlife like bears and stuff, don't try to pet them, don't try to stay away. Just wave at a nice distance and keep going, you know. We have a lot of wildlife up here, so.
Is there any other town board comment?
Go ahead, Vicki.
The signs, the new signs for Borden Park have not yet been finalized for approved, so that they're working on that still. I think that was.
Will they be the same, Vicki, or will there be any edits?
Well, unfortunately, we changed the thank you part, the acknowledgments at the bottom of the first sign. We went over the historical information. I found a couple of typos, but we weren't really in the position to change the whole layout and design. I had hoped to include the rail trail, but that was deemed more. You know, we had the design services of Leslie Ellers, who donated her time to it, and you know, because the rail trail is right across the street, hopefully it's obvious that, you know, there's a map that says here's where you are and here's where the historic buildings are. And I was hoping to superimpose another thing that says rail trail, but there is a path to the Wasaic Park. So, you know, modest modifications, but we did not have the expertise available to us to change it dramatically.
Well, I want to thank you for leading the charge on that. Those signs were actually a big reason why we bought our house in Wasaic, because we were
That's
like.
really, no, that's really, you know, the thank yous at the bottom now really reflect the second wave of volunteers, and that is Andy Durbridge designed that park in 2007. And we got a grant to build it, and those signs have been a real and the highway guys have really helped. Megan is going to install the new signs, so, and she's installed the pick tables over the winter, and I see them being used. I see people pulling off to the side of the road and using it. So it's been a big group community effort, but I would really say that the enhancement committee has planted the new plants, donated the new plants, and really spearheaded all the new efforts to water the plants and keep them going this first year. So.
It looks great. I mean, that park used to get a lot of use lunchtime picnic-wise from employees at Pauling Corp, but since the restaurant closure, I've seen a lot of folks taking their takeout from the Lantern and eating over there. So the park's getting a lot of use. Do you have more to do, or just on that topic of eating out? Victoria and the rest of the board, I had a conversation with some of the folks at Monty's. I guess it was last Monday I got takeout or something, but they have, and you know, so do a lot of folks who are on Main Street, have limited outdoor space. And given that our playgrounds are likely to be closed until phase, do you remember what phase it is, Victoria? I think it's like the end of the summer or something. It's projected.
Wow.
For playgrounds to be reopened. But given that our basketball court across the street is closed, I'm wondering if there's any interest in the town board in supporting kind of just a picnic table area for the local restaurants, the restaurants that are there on Main Street, to be able to encourage their takeout guests to go eat at. It wouldn't cost the town much to put up a couple of picnic tables in that basketball court area, and it would give folks a place to eat and help the businesses out. So just wondering if there's any interest in that.
Well, the governor, as part of phase 2, is allowing restaurants to have outdoor seating.
Right.
So they can put.
Monkey Doing has 5 tables
there.
And Back in the Kitchen has 1. So if there was a place on Main Street that folks could go sit and eat, maybe they could do a little better than that.
I would support a couple of picnic tables. I had ordered them online. They're very high quality, and I think it cost us like, I think about $600 for 2 picnic tables, and we ordered it. They were here. Megan, the problem that we've had in the past with Gordon Park is that people actually took the picnic tables and they ended up in other people's backyards. So we had to go into the backyards and take them back again. It was so they are tethered into the ground. Putting it on the tennis courts, you couldn't actually secure it that I know of. Maybe Megan has a way, but taking that risk that somebody might decide to just take it.
Listen,
they're not easy to take, but
they have one of the things they have to do, even if they are eating outside, they still have to practice social distancing.
Yeah, we could place the tables so that would be compliant. I'm just trying to find a way to use that basketball court's closed.
We can use our playgrounds and parks for our children to play in. And Monty's a nice place to eat and all of that. I don't see any reason for us to be buying picnic tables for them and putting them someplace.
Well, we wouldn't be buying them for Monty's. We're buying them for town.
They can put things out for themselves around if they choose to do so. I'm just saying our playgrounds and stuff should be for the youth in our community.
Well, they're currently closed, Michelle. There's closed signs.
Exactly. They're closed.
Right. So.
Actually, County Executive Molinaro did an executive order so that restaurants can have outside seating. So Monty's has tables and chairs.
You guys are completely missing my point. I understand that. The governor's EO has reopened outdoor seating. So if you go to the Lantern, they have 30 outdoor tables. That's great for the Lantern. You go to Monty's, they have 5, and poor Peggy Back in the Kitchen is 1. So what I'm saying is we have an empty, vast place right on Main Street that could be used by all the restaurants or anybody who wants to eat.
But not by our children because of the ruling that came down from the governor. And I think people are going to, I'm straight up, I don't think people are going to appreciate us buying picnic tables, putting it in our parks for businesses to use. I like the businesses. I have nothing against the business people. I think that they're really hurt by this COVID thing that's gone down, and I'm sympathetic with many of them because I know many of them, especially the ones that have been in this area for years like myself. But if little Johnny can't play basketball on that court, then somebody shouldn't be sitting over there having a picnic lunch and what have you at the town's expense. So I'm speaking up for the people of Amenia because I feel if I think that, they think that. If they don't, if they believe me, they will let me know. So
I don't know how to respond to that, but I will just say that we're always trying to encourage people to come to our main streets, help our local businesses. These people employ folks that are here in town who, there's enough unemployment happening because of this crisis, and who knows when restaurants will be allowed to let people back in
It'll be about 2 weeks, I believe, with 25 people in a restaurant or something like that, or either
That's
25
for a social gathering.
social gathering, but I think some of the
Restaurants are not open, Michelle. So please don't interrupt. And so I'm just going to,
All right, now let Damien finish speaking. Go ahead, Damien.
Go ahead, Damien.
so I'm just offering an idea that, maybe we could take a little town space that's currently not being used for anything and use it in a responsible way that we can help our local businesses, encourage people to spend some time and some money on Main Street. It's an idea. We can talk about it. I can make a motion if you guys want. Why don't I do that? May I make a motion?
Damien, just let me interrupt you for a minute. I see nothing wrong with licensing the restaurants to use the space at no cost, but I don't think that the town should be paying for the picnic tables or whatever the tables they want to use. I think that the restaurants that are involved should pay for that themselves, but I think that there's nothing wrong with the town granting a license for them to use that space as long as it's not being used for anything else.
So Damien, I think this is a great idea, the idea of allowing downtown business, but for those that don't know, Monty's announced that starting Monday, June 22nd, they'll be closing while they're reevaluating their future endeavors. So that, I get where you're
I really
going.
couldn't hear you, Dawn.
I can't hear you.
Monty's is closing on June 22nd.
Oh, it's closing?
It's really?
These will be closing while they reevaluate our future endeavors as the restaurant reopening process in Dutchess County unfolds.
Oh, dear.
Wow.
So I think
Okay.
it was an idea, but if Damien was unaware of that part of it, it may have an impact before he moves this idea.
Yeah, look, I spoke to Candace on Monday, so obviously things may have changed since then. I can reach out to them again. I don't think it'll make a difference, but it's just obviously very sad that they've made that decision. And I do think it is incumbent on this board to do everything that we can to help the people that employ our town folk here in Amenia. I think it's important that we find a way to do that. And any support we can give to local businesses that hire people here is incredibly important. So maybe picnic tables weren't the best idea, but it's an idea. I'm open to anybody else's ideas.
I'll call Candace and let her know about the executive order so that they know they can put their tables and chairs back out. Because I don't think they know that they can do that.
Well, we talked about that, but she said, they only have 5. That's what they said. Because you have to have a permit for outdoor seating.
Yeah,
No, you don't. No, you don't.
You don't?
No.
The town doesn't have an outdoor.
No, that doesn't have anything to do with it.
You have to have a board.
The county executive did an executive order to override anything in zoning that does not allow outdoor seating. So the executive order supersedes any zoning we have that says you can't do outdoor seating.
Understood, Victoria, but it's not a zoning issue. It's a Board of Health issue. So, but if that's superseded, that's great. But it's not a zoning issue. It's a Board of Health issue.
Well,
Anyway,
Because he specifically did that executive order so that, and that's what a lot of towns are doing. And in addition to that, like in the village of Rhinebeck, what they're doing is they were even allowed through a special DOT permit to close the street because a lot of their restaurants are along one street. So they were allowed to close that street so they could put tables and chairs in that street to accommodate the restaurants. So I can talk to them and see if they're aware of the executive order and, tell them what they can do.
great.
Okay, sounds good.
Because I'm on a call with the executive twice a week. And right now we're going into phase 3. They're looking to go into phase 4 sometime in July so we can get things moving again.
Well, I would be in favor of back in the kitchen, any East Main Street, any business in downtown Amenia to use our tennis courts while they're otherwise officially closed. There is the little table, the little seating area in the library, in the front yard of the library. And I don't really see too many people using that, but that
we
was
have benches, all along. We have benches from the streetscape projects we did that people can sit down and eat at, including the ones at Fountain Square. But I'll make sure that they're aware of the executive order and what they can do.
Oh, great. And so the last thing I wanted to say is that, yes, the rail trail is not done yet. It's not open. It's looking great. It's close to being done. I think the last time I spoke to the gentleman from WSP, the site manager, he was expecting it to be done this month, so within the next couple of weeks. Victoria, I don't know if you have more of a detailed update there or some sort of plan for the official opening. I know Dee Dee and some other folks wanted to come down and participate in that, so.
Well, we're kind of limited as far as social gatherings, but we're not there yet to that point.
I did find out that the trees are being watered, the newly planted trees. The resident engineer is going to handle that. This is a very severe drought that we're experiencing, and I was concerned.
Hopefully we'll get some rain this weekend. Everything is so dry.
Great. So that's all I had. Thanks.
So is there any other town board comment? Well, Jim, you're on.
All right, I move that we adjourn. The Morris motion has been made.
I second. 13.
Thank you, everybody.
Okay, good night.
Bye.
Night.